All right, let's take a look at CYPHER. Definitely one of the more technical and higher skill gaps and learning curves amongst all the agents. His first ability, Trapwire, 200 credits to purchase, C to use by default. Equip a Trapwire, fire to place a destructible and covert tripwire at the targeted location, creating a line that spans between the place location and the wall opposite. Enemy players who cross a tripwire will be tethered, revealed, and dazed after a short period if they do not destroy the device in time. This ability can be picked up to be redeployed. So on defensive side, the buy phase or the freeze time is going to be absolutely crucial for CYPHER because he needs to use all that time to use his abilities. So for Tripwire, a very, very good and very straightforward and effective tripwire would be to place one right here. And the key thing when you place these trapwires is you don't want to place it too low because that allows them to jump over it. Or if it's too high, they can just duck under it. So try to get it right around chest level. And now, if they want to get past this tripwire, what they're going to have to do is either shoot it when they detect it or use some kind of ability to teleport past it or use Sage Wall to climb over it. Okay, so that's one tripwire. And then we can set another one. So we can set one there to help out B, and then another one we'll set over here to help Sewer and A. So we've got a trapwire here that I've already set. And the cool thing is I can also pick it up by hitting the use key. So I can plant one over here, and then say if they're hitting B or C, I can just re-pick it up again to use later. In terms of how far you can plant or place the tripwire, it's going to be right here. So see how the color turns orange? Well, if I take a few steps forward, then it turns blue, and that means I can throw the tripwire. And you can also pick up the tripwire from super, super far away as long as you have line of vision. So say if we're defending this A site and they start executing on B and C, we'll go ahead and remember to pick up your tripwire to save it for later. On defensive side, again, you can plant these in any position you want during the buy phase or anytime during the round. So say we want to do some kind of gamble sack. What I can do is go ahead and support a solo player playing A, or we can completely gamble and not even play A site, but we can set these tripwires so at least we'll have some kind of notice if they do hit this site.
This should do.
On offense, what is really useful with tripwire is that you can cover your back. So let's say we're going B or C. We can go ahead and plant a tripwire here at A. So let's say the defense does flank through and they see this tripwire. Well, again, we have to force them to do some kind of ability or to destroy it, which gives us a little bit of heads up time if they're flanking. So we can plant a tripwire there. And then for precaution measures, we could throw one like right here. But although be careful again, if they're smart, they can just be crafty and jump over it.
Ten seconds left.
Caught one. Found you.
CYPHER's second ability, Cyber Cage, 100 credits to purchase, Q to cast by default. Equip a Cyber Cage. Fire to toss the Cyber Cage in front of CYPHER. Activate to create a zone that blocks vision and slows enemies who pass through it. So if I hit Q, what it's going to do is launch this little thingy on the floor that I can activate. So if I hit Q, it's this little beacon thing, and it says press X to detonate. So we'll go ahead and detonate it, and you'll notice that there's like a cone of smoke. And anytime an opponent or an enemy walks through it,
Cage triggered.
The cool thing about this ability is I can combo it with my Tripwire. So I hit my Tripwire, I throw this little detonatable smoke thing. Let's say they trigger my Tripwire. Well, I can go ahead and activate this smoke from anywhere on the map as long as I'm looking at it, and then I hit the detonate key. So boom. So it's a great deterrent. I can combo it with my Tripwires, and also again, anytime you throw these kind of vision blocking abilities, it's very, very scary to run through as offense or defense. See, as I walk through, it blocks my line of sight. I'm not sure where to place my crosshair, so great deterrent and great way to delay time. Another useful way that we can use Cyber Cage is instead of using them off the bat to deter them from taking the site, what we can do is use them for retakes. So we'll go ahead and plant those early round. Oh yeah, one thing to note, the opponents cannot see these until you activate them, so you don't have to worry about that. But back to my point, let's say if we're retaking A, if we gamble stack B and C, and as we're retaking the A site, we can go ahead and pop these Cyber Cages and block this line of sight as we're retaking. And on offense, you can also use Cyber Cage like you would use any other line of sight blocking ability. I can go ahead and click Q, detonate it immediately, and I can use that to spike, plant, or I can create a wall. So I can create a Q, and then a Q, and then create this wall here to make it a little bit safer. CYPHER's third ability, Spy Cam, E to activate. Equip a Spy Cam. Fire to place the Spy Cam at the target location. Reuse this ability to take control of the camera's view. While in control of the camera, fire to shoot a marking dart. This dart will reveal the location of any player struck by the dart. So if I hit E, I can place a camera on the wall or on a box or pretty much any surface. So you'll see that it shifts from purple. That means I can place the camera there. And if I'm too far away, if it's too high or weird angle, that means it doesn't work. So let's go ahead and plant this camera up here. We're gonna go ahead and just plant it right here in this corner. So it plants this spy cam that I can activate and actually view out of. So if I hit E again, now I'm looking through the camera and I can aim and actually point the camera where I want to see. And if I hit E again, it'll go back to my player model. When I hit E, you'll see in the middle a little circle and a dot. That allows me to shoot a marking dart. So if I click mouse 1, you'll notice that little dart there. And if it hits an enemy, it's going to track them until they use the use key and pull the dart out of their body. Okay, so one thing to note about this camera is that when I activate it and I hit E, it's going to become visible to anyone, so enemies can see it and they can shoot it, and it also makes an audio cue.
Got you. Tagged. Camera taken out.
So a great way to utilize the spy cam, again, is say if we are gamble stacking B and C, we can go ahead and use the camera to reveal the positions of enemies and we can get a marking dart off. Or say we are going to be holding sewer right here. So I'm going to be focusing on this spot right here. I have a shotgun and I'm holding here and I'm worried that they're going to come up long A. So I can go ahead and hit E and see if they're there and then go back to me and I can cover 2 angles like this. CYPHER's ultimate, Neural Theft, Z to activate. Instantly use on a dead enemy player in your crosshairs to reveal the location of all living enemy players. So in order to use this, you need the corpse of your opponent. So let's say this is a corpse. If I hit Z on it, it will reveal for 1 blip or 1 second the location of all enemy players on the map. So it's essentially kind of like free map hack or wall hack. So again, like all abilities, all characters will make some kind of audio cue. So if I hear that noise, if I'm playing and I know there's a Cypher on the other team and I hear that he used it, then I need to be aware that he knows my position and the position of all my teammates.